Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Vocal Voices. Well, welcome. Thank you very much for tuning in to us and listening to us again today. What we've actually decided to talk about today is this issue of self-isolation and staying at home regarding coronavirus. Obviously, this pandemic, coronavirus, with regards to it, everyone is expected to stay at home, to self-isolate, to not go anywhere that is not necessary. And obviously, the government all over the world are introducing this law about people staying at home to try and reduce this pandemic and try and eradicate this pandemic. Okay? I mean, following up to my my previous recording, obviously I did speak about the necessary measures that we're supposed to follow to obviously try and eradicate this issue. I spoke about hand washing, keeping distance, staying away, not staying in a crowd. All these things that we're all aware of that is being said all over the place. You know, it's on the news. The government is saying it. It's online. It's everywhere. We all know what we're supposed to do at this very moment to try and reduce or eliminate or eradicate this pandemic. Okay, so this is basically following up to it. Now, at this very moment, we're all expected to stay at home. We're all self-isolating. I know it's not easy. I understand it. I'm fully aware of it. It is not easy for most of us. It's caused a lot of issues. I know that. It is causing a lot of problem. A lot of us have lost our jobs. A lot of us has lost our livelihood. Jobs have been taken away from us. People with contracts, people with a lot of things, when things are not flowing the way they're supposed to be. The supermarkets, the corner shops, things are too expensive. You can't get things the way you used to get things. The world is basically sort of at the moment, the world seems to be at a standstill at the moment. So I understand this. I'm not saying it's easy. I know, I agree with you guys. I know it is not an easy situation to be in. People are facing a lot of problem at the moment. You know, finances are going down. I know this. Do you know what I mean? I'm not here saying, oh, it's easy to stay at home or it's easy to self-isolate. I understand self-isolation has got its downfalls. It's got things that people are going through. It's got things that it's causing a lot of problems. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of issues. You know, there are people that usually are not even able to stay at home previously. You know, there are people that even leave their house. Usually they live in an environment where it's not conducive for them. So getting up from the house is usually a getaway for them. You know, the people that live in an abusive family, they live in an environment where it's not conducive for them. They live in a home where they're being abused. They live in a home where there's domestic violence. They live in a home where they're not happy. They live in a place where they live in a very horrible home. So the only way they actually gain or get happiness is when they get out of the house. I know all these things. I'm aware of it. Do you know what I mean? I know this is not easy. It's not easy to be in this situation of self-isolation. I'm aware of all this. Like I'm saying, I'm not sitting here, saying, oh, it's such an easy journey. No, it's not easy. I know that. I know it's got its downfalls. I know, but why are we doing this? We're doing this to try and eradicate this, to try and reduce the number, to try and eliminate this, So what is the essence of this talk? What I'm trying to get us to understand in this talk is, as much as it's not easy for us to self-isolate, why don't we look at the use in a positive way? A lot of us, when we were at work, when we had businesses, when we were out and about, we always complained about not having time to do this and do that and do this. But now that you're at home, you've got all this time now. Why don't you just turn it around and pinpoint or find out the things that you've always wanted to do. But because you've never had the time to do it, because you've been so busy, you've never had the time to do all these things. But now you've got the whole time in the world. You've got the whole time in the world. So why don't you use this time you've got now to do something meaningful, to do something useful? You know, it could be anything. It could be even my nephew. I've got a nephew who's using this time to write a book. He's always wanted to write a book, but he's never had the time to. He's using this time to write a book. You know, we all have things that we've not been able to do because we use work and the fact that we're so busy as an excuse. But now you're at home. You've got the whole time. Why don't you use it to do something? Use it to do something productive. It could be something that you've been so fascinated about, something that you love, something that you wanted to learn. You're at home. You've got the time to do that now. So why don't you use this time usefully? Use it adequately and appropriately. Utilize this time. Things are gonna go back to normal. We are gonna go these things are gonna come to an end. I know it's gonna get better. It's not gonna go on for the rest of our life. We will get through it. I've said this before. I said it in the previous video. I said it in the previous talk. We will get through it. It's not easy. It's a difficult process. I know. You know, people are dying, lives are being lost, a lot of things are going on. I know this. But at this very moment that we've all been told to stay at home, to self-isolate, you've got the whole time in the world. So you've got no excuse. Yeah, you've got no excuse. Yeah, I know some of us live in a home that is not conducive for us. I know that. But not all of us. There are some of us that do live in a home that is conducive, that is comfortable for us. But our excuse has always been that we don't have time to do anything. You've got the time now. What do you want to do? What do you want to use this time, this free time you've got? What do you want to use it for? You know, you can use it adequately. I mean, I've done talks about time and how to utilize time. You know, we can relate this to it as well. You've got all this time now. You know, you can even do a research. You can learn something. You can read something. You can research in something that you're fascinated about. You can even use this time and just learn something online. You can use this time and self-teach, self-study, do a self-study. Teach yourself something that you've always wanted. It could be anything. You can use this time to teach yourself, to learn new things. Go online, learn new things, study, read, research. You know, it could even be that you've always wanted to decorate your house for a long time, but you've never had the time to because you're always out and about. Why don't you use this time? It could be that you want to do your garden, but you've never had the time to. So you always pay someone to do it for you, but you can actually do it, but you don't have the time. But now you've got the time. Do you know what I mean? It could be anything at all. It could even be that you want to do a whole tidy up of your whole house, revamping, tidying up from top to bottom, changing things around, moving things around. You've got the time to do that now. You know, you've got that time on your hand now. Use it. Use it. The point I'm trying to make, please, people, don't get me wrong. I understand that this moment is a very difficult time for most of us. People, my hat goes out to families that have lost, people that have lost family members, lost friends, lost dear ones at this very terrible moment. My heart goes out to you guys. I am very, very sorry. I understand it's a very difficult time. My hat goes out to people that can't afford to eat. My hat goes out to people that have lost their job. My hat goes out to people that are struggling as a result of this pandemic. My hat goes out to all of you guys. I know I'm not sitting down here saying that it is an easy time. Oh, let's all jubilate and rejoice. What a marvelous thing that is happening now. That's not what I'm saying. I understand this is detrimental. This has been detrimental to a lot of people. I'm aware of it. But all I'm trying to say is, what of those of us that are not in this situation? What of those of us that, that are actually in an environment where this is giving us time to actually do something better for ourselves. You can spend this. If you've been at home for the past 2 weeks, you know how much you can achieve in a week staying at home. I know it's difficult. You want to get out there. I know this. But do you actually know how much you can achieve in 2 weeks? Do you know how much you can learn? If you wanna teach yourself something, do a self-study. Do you know how much? If you pick up something, it could just be something that you're fascinated about. That oh, I want to learn this. I want to learn this trade. I want to research about this, that. Do you know how much you could learn in 2 weeks? You could do a lot in 2 weeks. Even exercises. As you're sitting at home, you can even do like little exercises. They're all online. Research. They're all online. On YouTube, everywhere. Research things that you can do at home to even lose weight. It could be that you want to lose weight. It could be that you want to keep fit. It could be that you want to make alterations. It could just be that you want to learn how to, it could be that you want to learn how to cook. You want to learn how to cook different dishes, or you want to teach your kids how to cook, or you want to spend this time, and there's something that you've always wanted to do with your kids at home, and you want to teach them this thing, but you've never had time because you're always out, you're always at work, you're always out, no time, you're working so hard, but you've got this time now. The point I'm trying to make is this time can be utilized in a positive way. It can be used in a good way. You can use it to learn something that you don't even know. Do your research. I don't want to start giving examples. We're all human beings. We know what. There must be something that you really like, that you've always wanted to do, or you've always wanted to look into, but you've never really had time to do it. There must be something that you've always wanted to do at home. You could even use this time and just, change your house around. Do a lot of things. So, I don't want to be repeating myself, The point I'm trying to make is we've got this time in our hand now. We've got this time now. As we're staying at home, yes, it's difficult. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, we've lost our job. Yes, things have gotten expensive. Yes, things are not the way they are. Yes, the world seems to be at a standstill at the moment. We know this, but like I said, all these things will end. We'll get through it. We will get through it. But whilst we're waiting to get through it, use this time now. Turn it into positive. My motto in life is always turning things, looking at the positive side of things, looking at the bright side of things. This is a pandemic. It's ridiculous. It's not good. It's awful. Lives have been lost every day. I know. It's a shame. My heart goes out to everyone that's been affected. So whilst we're all taking precautions, we've got the time in our hand now. So if you're this person listening to me, ask yourself, for the past 2 weeks I've been at home, what have I achieved with it? Have I achieved anything with it? Okay, if I haven't, I've still got the time now. What can I do now, differently? What is this thing that I really like, that I'm fascinated about, that I would want to look into, that I can start learning how to do now? What do I want to do? What do I want to do in my house? What changes do I want to make in my house? Do I want to repaint my house? Do I want to redecorate? Do I want to move the chair around? Do I want to do a whole tidying up from top to bottom with my family? What do I want to do? Do I want to bond with my missus and we cook together and we learn how to cook together, or we teach the kids? Or what do I want? There are things. What do I want to learn? What can I go online and learn? What can I learn online? Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of things you can do with this time. So this time is like a time that you've got in your hands now. Whilst you're at home, don't while it away. Yes, bond with family. Do things that will bond you guys together. But at the same time, use it wisely. You have got the time now. You're not getting up to go work in the morning. You're not leaving at early hours of the morning to go work, spend all day and come back. You're at home now all the time. Go online. There could be anything. You that is listening, there is something that you could have done. There is something that that you can go online now and start learning how to do, and you would become an expert. The thing about life is the more you do things, or the more you learn things, the better you get at it. So even if you ain't got a clue, but you want to do something and you want to start learning it, use this period to do it. So as you're doing it, you'll be surprised how better you'll become by the time things go back to normal. Things are going to go back to normal. Let's all get together and believe it will go back to normal. But we'll get through it. It will go back to normal. Things will go back to normal. But in the meantime, utilize this time you've got in your hand. Utilize it. Use it. Make it productive. Make it productive. Like I said, I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. I hope by saying this, I've not offended anybody. If I have, I really apologize. But what I'm trying to say, I know people, like I said earlier, I know there are people that are affected in this. I know there are people that are not even in the mood to think straight because of how this has affected them. Maybe they've lost loved ones, or it's affected them, or they're going through it themselves. Do you know what I mean? It's affected them emotionally, financially, all around. I know this. But at the same time, you can still... All I'm trying to say is just for those of us who are able to turn this into something positive, for those of us who have that time, use it. There's a lot of things. Just by going online, you find things. Okay? Thank you so much, everybody. Like I said, I hope I've not offended anybody, because I know how difficult these times are. I'm aware of it, 100% aware of it. It's not an easy time. People are affected. This is a pandemic. I know. It's a ridiculous event that is taking place now. I know. I'm aware of it. So if I've offended anybody, I do honestly apologize. But like I said, I'm just trying to, the Vocal Voices, we're here to help. We're here to, give knowledge, advice, and help people. Maybe you're this person that after listening to this, you'll sit back and say, you know what, I can use my time. I can use this little time I've got now wisely and productive. So by the time things go back to normal, I've actually achieved something with this time. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. We are very humbled. We thank you for all of you. We thank all of you that have supported us, all of you that keep sharing our messages, following us, all of you that have subscribed to our channel. We're very grateful, very humbled. Thank you. If what we're delivering and the messages we're giving out does appeal to you, any of you, like we always say, please do not hesitate to subscribe to our channel, and most importantly, click on the bell icon on the bottom right hand corner of your screen. And also, if there's any suggestion that you've got at all, any information that you'd want us to talk about another time, please do not hesitate to leave a comment for us, and then we will look into that topic next time. Thank you so much, everyone, and goodbye.